have any walls, do we?
Oh, I do love finding some walls. Look at my sweet skeleton keychain. Look how cute it is.
That's pretty sick. Oh, cute!
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow. Ooh. Who's beeping? Who's beeping? It's not me. Is it one of you?
The cemetery we have, the cemetery is Oddfellows Rest, established in 1842. The Oddfellows is a secret society. You know, we talked about Masons earlier. It's a fraternal order, secret society. Fraternal means dudes. So you can see that some coping graves have no lid, and some coping graves have lids. Coping graves are what's called a regimented burial, which means they use coffins. It is not super common in New Orleans to use coffins. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, all right? But what you're gonna do is lay the bodies out next to each other, and then lay another set across and another set across. With full respect intended, if you think Jenga blocks, okay, the way that they're laid out, that's kind of what this is here with coffins, okay? When they're full, usually 16 to 18 people in a coping grave. A coping is a roofing term, okay? It's a raised bed. It's a way of doing in-ground and above-ground burials at the same time. You're in 2 feet up and 6 feet down is usually what you're working with. And sometimes it's 4 feet up and 4 feet down, okay? But then you put a lid across it, whether it's cement or marble or granite, so that means there's no more room in the end. Look at your fancy camera.
I'm not filming you.
Oh, that's cool if you do. I feel glamorous right now.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case.
There you go, glamorous. Right, focus. Okay, here we go. So we're going to describe how we do above ground burials. You may be familiar with this or may not be. For this one, I have a little bit of wordplay, a little bit of imagination goes along with this. This is a traditional above ground family tomb, and we're going to pretend that we're going to bury somebody inside. So has anybody here volunteered to let me talk about them today and pretend that they died? The pine box has not been embalmed. Right, it's very important that the coffin cannot be airtight, nor can he be embalmed. That's very, very important. You guys know why?
No.
The heat hits the body on a non-embalmed corpse in an airtight coffin.
Explodes.
Like a grenade. Right? We are gaseous beings is what we are, right? So we're gonna take off the closure tablature, pull off that big piece of marble, remove the top shelf of the stones and brickwork. 3 shelves, shelf 1, shelf 2, bottom shelf, okay? Now Jay's gonna go in for a year and a day, okay? Now, the average temperature in a tomb like this, other tour guides will tell you, it's 400 degrees. That's not true. The average temperature is 175 to 220. It peaks at 400. For a year, Jay's been inside that tomb getting hit by that hot sun, okay? Being, well, basically exposed to that heat element. When the time comes for us to open this tomb, Jay will be down to bones, okay? Most likely the skull and hip bones. They'll be further reduced by the sextant and placed into a box or bag and placed in the very bottom, the 3rd layer of the tomb, the caveau, the shadow place, the cave, okay?
So, like, then these are actively being used because there's no cement on top or marble. Wow. $1914, that one. .50. I wonder if it's. You see that? Mine's reading .50, which is what he said. Well, they don't like you. From this point on, you'll notice in some of the shots, there's some neon-looking red, white, and sometimes blue dots in the bottom frames of the camera. This has never happened to me before, and I've used this camera for over 3 years. I read that this can happen if the camera overheats. However, when I filmed the swamp tour, I was filming for over an hour and a half in the heat of the day, and there were no spots. So I'm not sure what's causing this error. I suspect it's due to the location. one is newer, 1940. (1876) to 1987. Wow, 100 years of families buried here. That's amazing. These are from the 1800s, but they're fully restored. This is pretty cool. I really like the look of this, and it turns out the front door had Michael the Archangel on it, and I believe the tour guide said in the 70s, some scrappers ripped the door off and melted it down and sold it. So that's pretty messed up if you ask me. At the end, I'll be going over some still photos that I took that show some pretty creepy things, but I wanted to stop and show you this one. If you look closely by the door, you can see the face of a man. I've zoomed in closer here. Do you see it? Kind of creepy. This one isn't a tomb. Wow, 192. Holy cow, that's the highest. Is it you? My camera's blurry. It says 1.92. So this has to be one of the most active shots with the spots at the bottom here. If you look closely, I mean, there are probably at least a dozen of them moving around. And this is an open cabode. And this is those shelves that he was talking about, where you can see the top and the bottom, and then the bottom is covered up. This is under construction. They're remodeling it. And I suspect that this is so active because the door is open and maybe all the spirits that are buried there are coming out. This one here is actually the same age as those two big white ones that I showed you earlier. They're both from the 1800s. The only difference is this one doesn't have any living relatives, so there's nobody available to take care of it. They are working on fully restoring this. He did assure me that there are no remains in this open cabode here, that they're being stored elsewhere until this is fully restored. So I just thought that this was kind of interesting to show you the drastic difference between the two. All right, so this is the first set of photos that I wanted to show you. When you're taking these photos, you take three at a time, boom, 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 in hopes to catch any kind of activity on the still frame of the camera. So this is probably the best set, but I've got a couple that I want to go over here. So this one here, you can see it's perfectly normal. If you look in the bottom right corner, there's a blue orb. And this is on my cell phone, not the video camera. So it's not the camera malfunctioning. So as you can see here, this is the first photo. Then this is the second photo. This orb has gotten closer, okay? Also, this light has gotten brighter. First, second. And I'm not moving my position here. And these are immediately right, one after another. This is the last and final photo. The light has gotten very bright. The orb is gone. However, the entire picture is blurry. It gives me goosebumps. It's very creepy. It makes you think that there was a spirit there that was moving towards the camera. I wanted to show you this next couple of photos. Nothing real significant going on here. This was the entrance where I showed you the screenshots of those dots. And nothing comes into the frame, but you can see the progression of normal, normal, blurry. Again, nothing visually on the screen, but it is blurry. All right, so the next couple of photos are going to be in the area where my EMF reader read the highest that it got during the whole stay there, 1.92. We were instructed anything over 0.5, and we're looking at this top number here indicates paranormal activity. So I don't have 3 of this area, but I did take this photo. This was right in that area, and it's blurry. The next set, we've got normal, normal, kind of blurry. Not insane. Normal, normal, blurry. Nothing earth-shattering. Okay, and then these are other photos that I took in that same area. So as you can see, this photo is somewhat blurry. Very blurry. Not blurry. So not blurry. Somewhat blurry. Very blurry. So it's just interesting to see how we progress, you know, from here to here immediately. And I'm not moving when I'm taking these shots. It's just click, click, click. This is another one. I didn't get 3 of this one because, again, I was kind of freaking out in the moment. You know, trying to film, trying to take pictures, trying to read the EMF reader. It was just a lot going on. And then we've got this photo, nothing going on. This was just, again, when we entered, right when the EMF reader was kind of going crazy. I snapped a picture, but I don't see anything. So yeah, if you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you saw anything in these pictures that maybe I overlooked or I didn't see, you know, comment down below. Let me know what you saw and if you like to see more videos like this.